What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Just going to put out a quick video today. Something was brought to my attention by Kathy, so thank you, Kathy, for sending this to me and making me aware of this situation. I really hadn't been keeping up with it because I honestly thought it was just going to go away. Like, I honestly thought Priscilla would agree to the best interest of Elvis in the estate and drop her case against her granddaughter. But apparently, Priscilla's greed is far greater than her common sense. So before I get into that, though, and go off on a rant, I just want to say thank you to everybody for liking, subscribing, commenting down below. Please leave your comments down below on this situation. Thank you, Kathy, again, for being a Patreon and for sending me this story, or alerting me to what's going on with the story, I guess you could say. So here we go. So you know all about what happened after Lisa Marie passed away. Priscilla came forward and said that her name shouldn't have been taken off the will or the whatever. I'm not really too educated on all that process because I really didn't want to get into it. Like, I really didn't. I don't know. I guess a part of me didn't want to believe that Priscilla could be that greedy. But then I got sent this yesterday. So just check this out. I'm going to read it on the screen, and I'm just going to put it up here. And then I'm going to read it. I'm going to give my personal opinion. And then I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. I'm sure there's some stuff in here that y'all may not be familiar with. So here we go. So this is part of court documents, I guess, that was released. Apparently, Priscilla has agreed to drop the lawsuit, and as part of that settlement agreement, guess what Priscilla gets? A lot more money. So is it really about Elvis and his legacy and running the estate like it's supposed to be ran and doing what's in the best interest, or is it all about money? Let's read this and you let me know your thoughts. So it starts out by saying, and this is a fraction of the court documents, but I just wanted to focus on this one page. So it starts out by saying, it's a dismissal of the action by the petitioners. So within 10 days after the finality date, Priscilla shall withdraw or dismiss her petition with prejudice. That means she can't file it again because it's with prejudice. If it was without prejudice, then she could file it again. So you get into the reimbursement of legal fees. So Riley, who, by the way, has a net worth of around $5 million, according to Celebrity Net Worth. By the way, just keep in mind as I'm reading this, that Priscilla has a net worth of about $50 million, according to Celebrity Net Worth. Lisa Marie, at the time of her death, had a net worth of negative $10 million. Okay? Just want you to keep all those figures in mind as we're reading this. Riley shall pay to Priscilla the sum of $300,000 for legal fees and costs relating to the petition. Riley, as trustee of the Promenade Trust and the trustee of Lisa Marie's Trust, shall pay $300,000 to an account per Priscilla's instruction as reimbursement of legal fees and costs incurred by her. Incurred by Priscilla, who filed the petition, right? In the event Priscilla incurred more than $300,000 in legal fees and costs, then in such event, Priscilla will provide Riley with an accounting with receipts totaling said additional sums, and Riley agrees to reimburse Priscilla up to $400,000 in legal fees and costs, right? But get this part. This payment shall be made at the same time as the $1 million payment is made as stated in paragraph 6 of this agreement, provided, however, that this payment shall be made no later than 6 months of the finality date. Riley shall pay the first $50,000 of this payment within 20 days of the date of execution of this settlement agreement by Priscilla. Riley shall also pay a further $25,000 of this payment within 10 days after the finality date. So just look at paragraph 9 there, right? So you got Riley's going to reimburse Priscilla her legal fees after Priscilla's the one who pursued it for $300,000. This is just to get Priscilla to drop her lawsuit. Not saying that her lawsuit is valid. Not saying that Riley is saying, okay, I was in the wrong and she's in the right. This is a settlement. So this is to get Priscilla to drop the lawsuit against Riley and all those, right? It's to end it. So in order for Priscilla to drop her lawsuit and withdraw, this is what Riley has to agree to. For it just to all go away finally, which I'm sure is what Riley wants. This is a buster cluck, okay? It is so embarrassing to the Elvis estate, to Lisa Marie's memory, to the Presley family. All brought on by Priscilla. All right, so in order to get Priscilla to drop the case, Riley has to pay $300,000 in legal fees that Priscilla incurred. And if it's over $300,000, then she's going to cover up to $400,000, right? To go along with a $1 million payment, and she has to make the first payment of $50,000 within 20 days of the date of execution, and then another $25,000 within 10 days of the finality date. So right now you're at $1 million plus up to $400,000. So right now you're about $1.4 million that Riley has to pay Priscilla to drop this case. If Priscilla's case was correct, why would she even offer to drop it? Why not just go to trial? The only reason people settle cases and to drop it is because their lawyers do not think they could win at trial. So obviously, Priscilla's lawyers are telling her, hey, we got all this on the table, and it doesn't look like if we go to trial, it probably looks like we're probably not going to win. So you may just want to try to settle with Riley to get it to just all go away. That's the way I see it. Isn't that how you see it too? Anyway, let's get into paragraph 10. So paragraph 10 says this: as consideration for the terms of the settlement agreement, as well as the covenants, promises, and releases being provided by Riley and Lockwood herein, and in addition to the remaining covenants, promises, and releases being provided by Priscilla under the terms of this settlement agreement, Priscilla hereby waives and release any and all claims, rights, or interests to the Promenade Trust and or leases irrevocable trust, including but not limited to any claim, right, or interest in any and all assets owned by either the trust at the time, now, or in the future, and any right to any portion of the residue of the trust, distributed or undistributed. Priscilla further agrees that she has received any and all benefits to the trust to which she is entitled, and that she no longer has any interest in either trust or the estate of Lisa Marie Presley whatsoever. So she is saying she's gotten everything that she needs to get. She's not involved in either of the trust anymore. She's done, right? Like once this is finalized, it's done. And I'm sure this is Riley forcing her to say, this is Riley's counter, right? Okay, if we pay you all this money to drop this lawsuit, then you have to say and make it legal that you are done with all of it. Okay? I'm not going to go on to read all that because it's got a lot of words in there that I think I'm going to mispronounce. But you can read it yourself. It's available online. Like I said, Kathy sent this to me. I've done about this much research on it, and it all appears to be valid to me. Maybe this is all just some fake news story. So let's go down to number 11 now, right? So you already got Priscilla admitting that she has no interest in any of the trust, and she's gotten everything she should get from the trust. But yet you go down to paragraph 11, and after she's already gotten her $300,000 to $400,000 payment for legal fees and the $1 million payment, we get to this. Paragraph 11, special advisor. Riley agrees to retain Priscilla to serve as her special advisor of the Promenade Trust related to its shareholder interest in Elvis Presley Enterprises. Not Lisa Marie's trust or Lisa Marie's will. This is Elvis Presley Enterprises, who Riley now owns, including any successors thereof. Riley, as trustee of the Promenade Trust, shall pay to Priscilla the sum of, they marked it out. So they redacted how much Priscilla's going to get each year, because it says per annum, payable in monthly installments for her role as special advisor to the trust, which shall be a non-fiduciary role. Riley shall have sole discretion to determine what Priscilla's duties are. Riley, if you're listening, start her out by scrubbing some toilets. Let's see if she can wash and wax some of those cars in the museum. Maybe she can dry clean the jumpsuits, scrape gum off of park benches or maybe off the sidewalk. Hell, put her outside at the front gate, make her a security guard. Riley reserves the right to terminate Priscilla as special advisor at any time for any reason. So you get that, right? So if Riley wants to, she can terminate Priscilla's involvement with the trust, which should have been done decades ago, anytime she wants to. Except, guess what? Guess what happens if Riley terminates Priscilla from the trust? It's not about money, right? Not about the money. Riley still has to pay her for 10 more years, or unless she dies. So let's get to that. Riley reserves the right to terminate Priscilla as special advisor at any time for any reason. Priscilla shall receive the redacted annual payment for a guaranteed term of 10 years or until her death, whichever is sooner, and regardless of whether Riley ever terminates Priscilla's role as special advisor. So that means Priscilla can do whatever she wants, and Riley can fire her, but yet she still gets paid for 10 more years, regardless if Riley terminates her or not. I would love to know what the amounts were that were redacted. Y'all got to understand. Priscilla's been doing this for 45 years. 45 years she's been living off of this estate. 45 years. They are fighting today in 2023 over the estate of a man who died 45 years ago. That should tell you the cultural and pop culture impact, music history impact that one man's life and one man's career had. That these people are fighting over this 45 years later. Also, Priscilla's son is to get 1/9 of the estate. I believe I've read that somewhere. What connection to Elvis does her son have that was from another man? Like, how does he get 1/9 of the estate? He was never a Presley. Priscilla should have went back to her maiden name, but she didn't because she wanted the connection, right? She likes the fame and the fortune, and obviously the money. Priscilla Wagner, or whatever her name was before she married into the family, before she married Elvis. Man, I tell you what, if he would have known what would have happened after his death, I guarantee he'd have never married that woman. He didn't want to in the first place. He only did it because he was pressured. As you know, it was told to his cook. I'm not just making it up. It's been out there. But like I said, I've always kind of defended her. But that's it, man. Gloves are off. Gloves off. And also, I just found out today that they have agreed to bury her at Graceland. Why on earth would she be buried at Graceland? To be next to her husband, who she's been screwing over his estate since the time he passed away, who wasn't even mentioned in a will other than to be the guarantor of his daughter? That? You want to be buried at Graceland for that reason? Or is it to be close to your daughter, who you've cast this black cloud over since her own death, and tried to draw the attention on yourself by filing this lawsuit, dragging your grandkids through the mud after they just lost their mother? So that's why you want to be close to her? If they bury that woman at Graceland, I don't know if I'll ever go back. I don't know if I'll ever go. That's how pissed off I am about it. That's how pissed off it makes me. I don't understand why the people in charge that are making these decisions would allow this woman to be buried at Graceland. Do they not understand? Or better yet, does Priscilla, in whatever mental capacity she has left, which apparently is not very much, does she not understand the impact that she's having on fans? The impact she's having on his legacy? The family name, what she's done to it? And every time she does something like this, it puts another black mark on the name. Stop. You divorced this man 50 years ago, 45 years since the man's been dead. Stop. Back away. Let it go. There are other people now who can do what you do. It's their job. It's literally their job. Okay, maybe back in the early 80s when it was decided that Graceland would become what it is today, you had about this much to do with it. I know people give you a lot of credit, but all you did was sign your name. There were actually people behind the scenes that have a head on their shoulders that thought of all this, that did all this. About all you did was pick the decorations for the inside of Graceland, which wasn't even correct. They're from when you were there, not from the time that he died, not from the time that should be most remembered and encapsulated into this living time capsule. But again, it's all about you, right? So just think back. If Priscilla had never had Lisa Marie, if Elvis and Priscilla never had Lisa Marie, her name would have not been mentioned anywhere in the will, and she wouldn't have gotten anything other than just being a girlfriend or ex-wife of Elvis. She would be a Linda Thompson or a Ginger Alden. They're not entitled to anything, but yet they had Lisa Marie together. So that tied them together. And Elvis saw that. He wanted his daughter taken care of. The only reason he mentioned Priscilla in the will, in my opinion, was to take care of his daughter. He could give a rat's ass about Priscilla. But yet, here we are, 45 years later, and she still got her grubby, greedy hands in the Elvis Presley family fortune bank. Right? She still got her paws in there. And now if Riley agrees to this, which I'm assuming she has, Priscilla still gets annual payments or monthly payments for an annual salary. And even if Riley fires her, she still gets paid for 10 years. So from now until 2033, she's guaranteed to make money off of Elvis, who she divorced 50 years ago. That's the longest alimony I've ever seen in my life. What judge agrees to this? What judge says, okay, Priscilla, you still have a right to Elvis Presley Enterprises and still have a right to make money as a special advisor, and for the next 10 years, even if you get fired from your job. Y'all, I am done with this woman. Agent Elvis, money-making scheme. Could care less about his image, his legacy, or anything. This right here, this shame, this black cloud that she put over the loss of her own daughter, and now over her granddaughters and grandchildren, and now over her grandchildren. Y'all, I'm done with this woman. I have been on her side a lot of the times because I felt like she was young, didn't really know what she was getting into, pressured by her parents. Elvis was being pressured by her parents. I don't know what else to say. Let me know your thoughts, but I just, this irritates me to no end that she still has this much control and influence and is still getting paid from something that happened 45 years ago. The man died 45 years ago. How did Lisa Marie pass away? $10 million in debt. Her mother is worth $50 million. But yet somehow the estate of Lisa Marie has to pay Priscilla. It's madness. Madness. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Again, thank you all for liking, subscribing, and commenting. That's going to do it for today. My blood is literally boiling the more and more I talk about it and the more and more I think about it. Done. Done with Priscilla. You're no Presley. You hadn't been a Presley in almost 50 years. Let it go. Let it go. Anyway, y'all have a good weekend. That's all I got for you today. I'll be back Monday with a new video. So y'all keep TCB'ing. And we'll see you next time. Take care now. Bye-bye.